Hello and welcome to the DFS_PhD show for Thursday Night Football on December 14th. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Unfortunately, this is not my screenshot, but this is SM Elliott's screenshot from the chat. Congrats, dude. Cheers, congratulations. And he said it all came from those $15 satellites. So satellite strategy works, and part of it is understanding how spike days work. You just can't predict them. And I mean, what I will say, and keeps me somewhat positive in times like losing $5,000 is number one, I didn't pay $5,000. I paid, $1,500, something less than that even. So it still stinks, but not as much as it seemed like it stunk because, I played a bunch of those little qualifiers. And secondly, you just can't plan your spike days. One time, that NBA Finals, that I both have a spike day that worked and put in the right lineups. But I've also won $10,000 two other times just doing the regular grind. You know what I mean? So you can't plan when those big days come, and you just have to be ready for them and playing a responsible amount of your bankroll. So that's where we go today, back to playing a responsible amount of our bankroll. So for me, that's 20 maxing the $3 and $4 tournaments and the various whatever types of sport. And yeah, so let's not look at that. So I wanted to do it. I'm going to do the Thursday Night Football video first, optimal. This is with no. So I was trying to think, like, we don't see Utica often at the top of our 150, uniques list. And I noticed the other day he's in on some of these chops that are like 15 trains, 20 trains. And so I think he might have a little bit different part of the process. And so this build, I'm doing just the top. I want to see what all possible lineups that could win. Among those, what are the best lineups? So that's within $2,000 with no salary limit and no geometric mean of ownership. We just have to know what are the best plays tonight with very little editing. Best plays tonight with very little editing: Josh Jacobs captain, Devontae Adams captain, Quentin Johnston captain. I mean, we've got it's been his time for so long. Please catch a pass tonight, man. Easton Stick is good enough at throwing passes that you should catch one, Quentin. We all know it. It's been time all season. Please catch a pass tonight. Anyway, he's clearly optimal. A pass catcher, right? That's what most of these have in common. And then a pass thrower in a very rare case. It's going to be a wow, even in these low total games. Okay. We got 40%. Yeah, okay. We're getting different with some defenses opposing probably the other quarter. Like if we have a quarterback captain and the opposing defense in flex, that would be nice. But this is also right. This is just the all lineups. So this is just what should hit. And that means we're going to have a lot of, we got 45, 100%, 120% of the quarterbacks. Yep. I see 90% defenses or something, 40%, 45% defenses. Yep, that all makes sense. So in terms of what your optimal thing to do today is, it's to play those guys whose names you recognize, because there's only like 5 of them on this entire slate. And then, so I got to say, the other thing, I did not allow Austin Ekeler to be captain because I don't know what's going on there. It seems like, now what was the Charger snap game? Because they were making noise about him not being as dominant of a starter, but then I know that the noise that Pittsburgh made was all BS/meaningless noise. So I want to check in on last week. Not season. Nope, not custom either. Just last week. Okay. So they got me. They got me. I believe them. I believe that other people will get work. That was wrong. It was wrong of me to do. It's wrong of me to believe anything these coaches say, but specifically this coach. Anyway, that's really annoying. And explains part of why Sunday was so frustrating. But that does mean you probably need to get you probably should allow him to be captain. I didn't do it for either one of these because I remember that they said they didn't want to give him work, and I assumed they had followed through with that. But apparently they didn't, and that was all just BS coach speak. 16% though, gosh, guys, I don't know. If he's really the highest owned captain, I just can't do it. What's going on with Zamir White? What's going on here? Like, did I miss something? Zamir White. I saw this yesterday, and I just don't know what's going on. Why is there news about him this week? Should I? Oh, is it because like Amir Abdullah got out with Josh Jacobs hurt. Okay. So, or I guess people are projecting Josh Jacobs not to be in. I mean, if Josh Jacobs isn't in, sure, then you can play Zamir White. But I mean, like, I think Amir Abdullah is also in, right? Why would you play a third string running back on this slate? I don't understand why he would do it, and I don't understand why he would be the like highest owned captain tied with Austin Eckler. It just doesn't make sense. He's not cheap. He's not a good like. Here are players: Alex Erickson, Jalen Guyton. If you're going to go to a cheap captain, go to them. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I just don't understand it. If somebody can please explain to me in the comments why people are going to Zamir White, that has to be assuming there's a 16% chance Josh Jacobs is injured. In which case, what do we? That's what my whole thing about averaging, right? Like why I always try to move the goalposts into one part of what is clearly a bimodal distribution. Zamir White is a 0 or a 12, right? You shouldn't project him any other way. And if you have Josh Jacobs in, you shouldn't have Zamir White for anything but like 0. So this lineup, this way I'm building it has Josh Jacobs in. Therefore, I don't allow the Zamir White BS. But if I was to build a Zamir White BS set of lineups, it would include no Josh Jacobs because that's the only way he gets there in my estimation. Okay, so now if we go over to the ones that are, I should label my builds, unique-ish, under 19 GeomeanOwn. How does that change things? Probably won't change it too much. Number one, I changed the salary range a little bit to also include about $400 cheaper overall. Let's see. I don't believe I used any custom rules today. Yeah, I just don't see any we don't need to get cute right now. There's just enough weird players on these teams. Yeah, with Quentin Johnson, like, what are you doing? What are people doing? I just legitimately don't understand what you're doing tonight. Like, how are there Alex Erickson lineups? Like, how is he not the guy that's getting 16% ownership in the captain? What? Oh. Huh. Oh, I've pulled up. Okay. Wow. I have pulled up FaceTime on my computer, which I better quit or else I'm going to accidentally FaceTime somebody. Okay, now let's see. Doesn't change almost anything, right? Like, this is still pass catchers. I guess we're pulling weirder pass catchers. Is that the difference? I remember these guys were on the list already, though. I mean, maybe not Alex Erickson. Maybe we had like Josh Jacobs instead. I kind of like the looks of the unique ones better. Like, these just seem like more fun lineups. Yeah, I like these a lot. I'll probably stick. So, okay. So my point was, I think Utica is taking some from column A. Like, so if we go to our all lineups list, we'll probably have some of them that rate out higher, much higher than the other ones, right? That win a bunch of different of the sims. So let's just check that out. Just look at the numbers down here, not the lineups. 773, a 5, a 5, a 5, a 5, a 5. So we've got a few of them. Yeah. So like I thought, we got 6 of them that more or less stand out as winning kind of a lot of the sims. And then we go over to our unique ones and we see if we have the similar type of distribution. And presuming we do, we wind up with a nice set of 20 that won a bunch of their sims. 6, 5, 5, 5, 5. I'm looking at sim optimals in single games. So that's basically the same, some sort of a similar sense of an estimate. And so I'd probably go to the top, 14 of these? Wow, yeah, these are still looking pretty good. Okay, cool. So that's what I'll do for tonight. And that's what I'm thinking I'm going to try to do, because I haven't seen Utica on the top of the under 5s list, which means that I don't think his entire process is towards under 5s. I've seen too many chops that can't be by accident that Utica has been a part of. And I think maybe the idea is like, you want to win back a little bit of money as often as possible, and you want to win back the most money as often as possible. Right. So that's the strategy I'm going to start piecing together in these videos. And we're starting here on Thursday Night Football because I don't really have until we get the news about Josh Jacobs, I don't have anything to say, guys. Like, I mean, that's the news of the slate. If he's in, it's kind of a boring slate. There's not very much value besides these Chargers wide receivers. So you play the Chargers wide receivers. I even like this. Yeah, look at that. So on this unique ones, we're going a lot of Alex Harrison in captain, because if he gets there, he's going to be the most valuable player. He's definitely optimal captain. And if he doesn't, you don't need him at all. Right. I mean, like if he doesn't get there, he's not getting there at all. So I love the stand that this is making on Erickson versus Guyton. because Guyton's lower owned because he's clearly a worse value. He costs more money and is going to have very similar route share. So, what's the difference between a wide receiver 3 and a wide receiver 4? Really? I mean, if one of them gets slot work, if you've been watching the Madden or you're paying attention to the Madden info page, the slot wide receiver is more important of a designation than who is the wide receiver 3. If one of these guys is a wide receiver 4 but plays the slot, Alex Erickson, then he's going to get more work than Jalen Guyton, which I did just talk myself into. Oh, he has a higher projection anyway. I was like, I have to have a higher projection for Erickson than for Guyton, but look at this, I do. Okay. We have no Keenan Allen tonight. That's the big news that we already have. So that's why we're playing Chargers receivers. I assumed that if you're watching this show, you're already up on that amount of the news, but maybe not. Also, it's very early in the morning, so my apologies for, any breaking of format due to that. I still haven't gotten my frontward facing light fixed, so we got a weird looking video. But thank you again to all of you guys, about 60, 100 of you watching every day now. It's outrageous. Like, I was doing this for 6 guys at the beginning of the summer, and you guys are still here, so good to see you guys still. Like to get us a win pretty soon. Haven't seen any 5-figure W's in the chat in a while, so we'll get there either tonight in football or tonight in basketball. But let's remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us.